Hello and welcome to IGN Arena, probably episode 23. I didn't decide before we came into this room, and nobody's quite certain.
And it's too late.
My name is Mitch Dyer. I'm one of your hosts. I'm joined, as always, by James Faulkner.
Hi.
How are you? You seem scattered right now.
I am
a little busy.
Also working on other things while we're in here. That was the only way I could
podcast
today.
Okay, so you're going to work while I introduce Kyle O'Connor.
What's
Welcome
up,
back.
guys?
Brian Albert.
Hello,
How
everyone.
you been?
I'm doing just great. I play a lot of Sniper, so I'm happy.
Yeah, it's been a good week of Dota. I won 7 out of 8 games last night. Feels good.
That last game was not fun.
No, I don't play Bane, and I got forced into a corner. Whatever.
Also, more impressively than you
and I
won
should've
7 of 8 is that you played 8 games in one night. On a night that you, or a day that you worked.
Yeah, dude, I had to come home and
That's so much Dota.
It was a day yesterday. But I've also been playing a bit of Heroes of the Storm. Have you guys been playing this at all?
Mm-hmm.
It's in beta now.
I got into the alpha, and I enjoyed it, and I'm going to hop onto that as soon as possible. It's a fun game.
So they've made a bunch of changes since the alpha,
Really?
and it's particularly with the character progression system, and I don't like it. Like, they have started to...
What do you got?
Yeah, I know.
They've started to lose me. Like, I loved it in the alpha. I was like, oh, this is fun. It's simple. It's cool. We talked about it on the show a little bit. The more I play it now, especially with people who play MOBAs, like, I don't know. Do you play alone? Or do you play with a stack?
I'm usually a loner.
I had a lot more fun when I played alone. When I started playing with a stack, we were all bored.
Yeah, I can see that.
Whoa. Why?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out because the running theme when I have conversations with like our crew of people who play MOBAs and other competitive games is they play Heroes of the Storm, and everyone goes in and says, like, yeah, it's beautiful. I love the characters.
It looks great.
Yeah,
Some of the map designs are like really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thoroughly bored the entire time.
The one big thing I don't like about Heroes of the Storm, and it's a huge core part of its appeal, is the fact you can't snowball. I never once in that game, or I've yet to feel like I'm truly melting people. Like, even if our team's ahead, I still feel like I'm just like slowly chipping away at people.
So that has changed.
That has
changed so significantly that the second your team gets a quad kill or gets a little bit of a level lead, it's over.
Oh, geez.
It is done. Like, there is so few chances for comebacks that the snowball effect right now is really bad.
So they just went the polar opposite, it sounds like.
Yeah, it is, and they have a long way to go for balance, and they have plenty of time, and it's a beta, so it's hard to like judge it properly.
Yeah.
But the game in the state it is in right now is so snowball-y that it is just like, if you fall behind and you lose one lane, good luck. If you lose one objective in that map, good luck.
Man,
So I wanna play more because I'm still getting my hand on like the objectives. I don't know quite how that works. But the thing, I when I go to a MOBA, I want to have all the characters and all their abilities, and then you just give me this amazing game to play.
Dota has broken us.
So
in that way.
Dota spoils me. League is pretty good, but still, you have to.
It's because the free hero rotation is like 12 heroes.
Right. But this is there's a hero rotation, and then you also have to unlock their talents. Or is that correct? Or
yeah, talents. It's like it's not their skills, but it's the things that modify their skills.
Yeah, it's like a modifier.
Like instead of
to the
items, like
abilities,
when you level up, you'll just select talents, right?
I don't like that system.
But it's also you have to unlock them for each character if you want to unlock the later stuff, which I think is atrocious.
It's really, really not fun. Like, I really appreciate that every individual hero in that game is treated as its own RPG character with his own, like, upgrade. Like, Jim's unlocks are different than Nova's, are different from Thranduil's or Furian's or whatever.
I know the unlocks, is it talents? I know there's some skins that you can unlock just by
Isn't
playing.
Thranduil a Lord of the Rings character?
Maybe. Who am I thinking of?
Tyrael?
Tyrael.
Yeah, Thranduil's like the king of the elves.
Yes,
isn't he?
that's right. He
Okay,
rides that
cool.
murder
I was
moose.
like, what? He's in this game?
He has that giant moose, and
battle
he like
moose.
cuts off all the dudes'
the
heads.
battle moose is
that was
amazing.
the Thranduil.
Jesus, I'm derailing this. Okay, carry on.
And now I'm totally off track. And I totally lost.
We're talking about things
It's
that
over.
you can unlock for each.
That's right. It's cool that everyone has their
brawler.
own stats and their own like personal upgrades and stuff, but you have to like play so much of a single character to progress with that person.
I'm not a fan of the fact that you have to basically grind out another character to find out whether you'll really like him at the late stage in his, like, the talent progression.
It's the same problem Evolve has right now, right? Like, you look at the progression in Evolve, it's like you pre-order that game and you bypass all that. And they recognize that their progression is kind of a problem, so if you pay for it early, you just don't have to deal with it.
I don't like that either.
It's very grindy.
Did you just find that out now?
Yeah, that's... So, that's... I don't understand the logic. So if you pre-order it, you don't have to go through the progression system, but anyone who buys it day one and not pre-ordered has to do the progression.
Correct. You still get character upgrades for playing a bunch of games, but you unlock the characters by...
James is about to
What? Yeah, thank you. That's my reaction.
Sorry, I was listening, but then my brain
your brain is now caught up.
What?
So when you start a game and you are Maggie the...
boxer.
Maggie the boxer. You're Maggie the trapper or the support. I can't remember what her class is, but you play Maggie. And you have the Daisy dog, and you run around, and you're tracking the monsters. You have to harpoon the monster a certain amount of times. You have to follow Daisy for a certain distance, and you have to deal a certain amount of damage before you unlock the next in her class.
If you pre-order it,
you don't have to do that. Everything's unlocked. Heroes of the Storm has very similar progression in that you have to play a ton of certain characters to earn the money to unlock stuff. Yeah. Fine, cool. That's normal. That's what League of Legends does.
I understand that.
But in order to like upgrade your character, it works the same way. Like play a bunch of games, get individual upgrades for that hero, and then, well, I don't want to play Tyrael today. I want to play a support, or I want to play a more tanky guy like Diablo. Now you start from square one. You have the character who's interesting on his own, but he's missing all these upgrades that you earned from playing dozens of hours with somebody else.
Yeah.
That's a huge bummer. Like, it feels like a waste of time.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Like, what if you really liked him, and then you invest all this time to this character, and then you find out, like, the later abilities weren't really worth the time, and you could have put it to another character who you kind of like your tier 2 character. Like, it's just, that doesn't sound like a good system.
I've been trying to play 4 MOBAs recently, so I haven't been able to give, like, them a good amount of time.
Now.
Yeah, but, so I haven't played it as much Heroes as it sounds like you have, definitely, and I guess you haven't played the beta. How quick is that progression?
Not fast. I haven't played enough to really get a grip on it because I'm in the period now where I'm like, I don't know if I want to proceed playing this because this seems fruitless. Especially since this is a beta and after the alpha they wiped everything. Like, I don't want to unlock all this stuff, spend all this time, and potentially have it get wiped.
Could you pay for stuff in that alpha?
Oh yeah, and they refunded everything. It's like, oh,
okay.
you spent money on character packs. We changed the way it all works. It's
okay.
So here's all of your money back in Battle.net bucks. Spend it on
Are they
Diablo,
called that?
World of Warcraft. Give it to us in Swarm skins, whatever.
The other thing is that when you are, and this isn't the same, but when you're going to purchase a character in that game, you can try them and you can test out all their skills and activate creeps and run on. Like, it's not the same as playing a full match, obviously.
Yeah.
But at least you can go in and see, like, hey, if this character's like maxed, do I like what they're doing?
Oh, you can try them maxed out?
You can just, like, yeah, you can, any of their talents or anything, you can just try them out.
I do like, just what you said reminded me, but I do like Smite's renting a god. That system is really
I didn't
cool.
know you could do that.
Yeah, it's like a small amount of whatever the in-game currency is, and you get to like rent it and choose how long you want to rent it for, like a day.
Oh, that's really cool.
It's good. It's a good system.
Ooh.
Yeah, I would love that.
Get it together,
James. I would love that for, like, sorry, I'm almost done. There are a lot of things happening right before.
Yeah, it's a very busy week.
Yeah.
We're gonna be out next week, FYI. So no show next week because we're gonna be doing the company retreat. So we'll be out of town.
Oh yeah.
But we'll return the week after with IGN Arena and maybe a little bit more.
Let's just do it just from wherever we're going.
Just record locally, like on a phone.
Yeah.
No, we can bring it up.
It's actually not the worst idea.
I can bring a piece of equipment. We can do it there.
That would be pretty rad.
We could record locally on a laptop. Maybe do it a little low rent. Wouldn't be video.
No, won't be
we'll
video.
figure this out later.
Yeah.
It's not the time. So maybe you'll get an episode next week, hopefully. Yeah, that's kind of just like my quick thoughts on Heroes of the Storm. I really do want you guys to play more. I want you guys to play more of this game I don't really like so that we can talk about it more.
Hey, we can be totally unprepared for this, but we have 5 Heroes of the Storm beta codes to give away on the show.
We do.
We haven't decided how we're going to do that.
Snap.
Yes.
Should we do it right now?
You want to give them away
No,
now?
like, let's just
You want to figure it out?
Yeah,
you
like,
want to have
what
a
do we
meeting?
want-
We'll
what do we
interrupt the
want
show
people to
with a
do?
meeting right now. I feel like, I don't know, like email. Normally we do the email us. You want free dude codes?
Yeah,
I
dude
feel like we got to
codes.
make people earn it a little bit.
What are they going to do?
It doesn't have to be anything crazy.
I have an idea.
Hit
What's
me.
up?
Select a character from Blizzard lore, any part of Blizzard lore, like any game.
Yeah.
Then build a character for us. Give us their 4 abilities.
That seems intense.
No, it doesn't.
Maybe just give them
I
the
don't
ultimate.
want numbers. You don't have to do math. I just want
Yeah.
think about a character, then come up with like 4 abilities, like just
Like a rock and roll racer would do this.
Yes.
What if we just ask for an ultimate?
I think the ultimate is the one. Like, what's the craziest, coolest skill you could apply to a Blizzard
want that?
character?
Yeah, or it doesn't have to do their ultimate. If you think like they have like a lesser skill, that'd be cool. Just a skill for a character that is in Blizzard
So
lore.
email arena-podcast@ign.com.
Yeah.
Subject line: Heroes of the Storm beta.
Mm-hmm.
All we need from you is to tell us which Blizzard character you want to see in Heroes of the Storm, and what skill or skills you would like them to have.
But
Cool.
we need an ultimate.
No,
We don't need an ultimate.
I need an ultimate.
And then we'll read
Kyle
some of
needs
those.
an ultimate.
We'll read some of those on the show. We'll give away some keys. It'll be good. Arena-podcast at ign-arena-podcast at ign.com. That's also where you can send us letters about show topics. You want to contribute to some discussions. Anything you want to get involved in the show, that's the address.
Yep.
Be in touch.
Facebook group's pretty active too.
We did it.
Yeah. Oh man, it's like
I like going on.
busy.
That. It's nice,
Cool.
cool.
MOBA friends.
Yeah,
are
yeah.
on
I'm
there,
just
yeah.
like, well, we'll brush on it later because one of our topics. But yeah, I post stuff in there all the time.
cool.
It's pretty cool.
Should we move on?
Yeah, let's move
All
on.
right. Something I've been dwelling on a lot lately, and Brian, you've been present for a lot of it.
Yeah.
MOBAs make me like really angry.
Oh yeah.
Angry, not sad.
Not-
angry.
It's kind of sad
Both.
too. Like we talked a little bit about this when we started doing the show. Like, oh man, we yell at teammates. Like, what's the angriest you've ever been playing a MOBA? But I'm like, man, like, I shouldn't be playing this. This is like I'll have a really good night and then end on one bad game and go like, man, why did I play all night?
Yeah.
Why did I bother?
This is unhealthy
This
to my
sucks.
If it
mental
was
state.
anything other than a video game, you'd be like, why am I doing this?
Yeah, I would stop. I'd cut it out of my life. And at the same time, it's like I get so much from the competitive aspect of playing Dota. Like I love playing League of Legends, and I really enjoy the competitive aspect of that, and I do love spending time with the people I play with. But why do we play these games if they make us so angry? Like at each other, at the game, at the community. Like why do you bother playing these games if they make you so angry? Like let's dive deep into your psyche right now, Brian.
Me specifically?
Yeah.
Into your brain.
Oh man, I'm really scared. Tell me your secret. Well, so I play because
That was the deep dive into Brian's brain. Thank you for
Oh,
that.
that's all that's in my head.
That was
at
you
all
entering
times.
your own brain.
I had to get through the layer.
We have to go deeper.
I do it because this sounds kind of boring, but like most games aren't that way for me. Like every once in a while there'll be a terrible game where, and the worst ones are where I can almost kind of point the reason we're losing to like one or two people. Like that happens sometimes.
You
not all
just
the time.
sneered at me. What was that?
No,
He went
no,
one or two
wasn't that-
people.
Mitch.
Looked right at you. One or two Mitch.
Those are the worst. Those are the worst ones. But the reason that I'm okay with that is because even though some people would get really angry at each other, most of us are just like good enough friends that like if something bad happens or if we get a little like irate, we just it just goes away the next game. We just somehow work past it.
So what is that? What is that thing that cleanses it? Because I agree. I think that we do have that. Like you settle and you're sitting there and you're like, it's just like you have this bad sinking feeling about the game or about the people you played with. But the moment you queue again, it's like, okay, fresh slate.
Yeah, MOBAs are weird like that. Like if I'm playing like a really intense match of Dota, it's like you're like being held in a bucket of water, like your head's underwater. Like playing Dota in like a really intense, scary. It's just like this is the most important thing right now. All of my brain power is focused
you're
on
not
winning this
thinking
game.
about anything else.
Nothing is happening outside of me.
Yeah.
And then like once you're done, you just like get to breathe for a little bit, and for whatever reason, just a few minutes between matches is enough for me to just kind of
To collect yourself.
the woosah. Yeah.
My girlfriend can always tell whether I won or lost by the way I like.
Wow.
take my headphones off. Yeah.
If you let it linger and like if you carry it with you into the rest of your
You
life,
can't do that.
Can't do that.
Yeah, no, that's the big thing. Is like,
Yeah.
I get kind of bummed out when we play, and we'll like in our Skype group or the TeamSpeak server we're in, where it's like you can hear it in people's voices. But then the moment I turn it off, it's like, all right, time to go live my life and like go grocery shopping and hang out with my girlfriend. It's like it's gone, and it's back to just being normal again, right?
For me, the highest highs of MOBA are better than the lowest lows. Like the lows never reach the same high you get from playing awesomely or something.
Yeah,
like
and
that.
I think that's kind of the easiest and best and most logical answer is that the success conquers the defeat in a lot of ways. Like exactly that point. Like you suffer through a lot of the defeat, knowing that when you win or when you have that great game, it's going to make it all worthwhile.
Yeah.
And I think we even talked about a game recently where it was the Techies and Venge game that we played with Rupli.
What a stupid game.
Like a month and a half ago at this point, probably. And during that game, I got pissed. Like I hadn't been that angry.
You turned your mic off. We were streaming, and you turned your mic off because you didn't want to be like heard.
Yeah, and the thing is, I wasn't even like swearing or yelling in my house. I just didn't want to.
You were just not talking.
I just didn't want to communicate at all. Like,
Let's just lead into this a little bit. You got killed like 7 times.
We got picked off really,
right?
really badly.
And to be fair, I wasn't playing that well. Like I had just come back from holiday break. and I hadn't played any MOBAs or any video games in like almost a month. Like because I'd been gone for a really long time.
It's like, welcome back.
Yeah, and we played this game, and it was
bad for 45 minutes.
It was real bad, and eventually I just turned off my mic, and I talked about this before, but I just focused, and then I started pushing things out, and my mind kind of wandered, but not in the way that it was like, I'm not paying attention anymore. It was just like, well, this doesn't really matter. Like, we can lose this game. We'll go on to the next one. And that's how I started to feel about, like, I played some League ranked this weekend, and, like, I was losing pretty badly, and I was like, does this really matter?
You guys both had some pretty rough experiences with that, right?
Yeah, tell me about that.
Oh, God.
Because that's not a thing. Like, we have ranked matchmaking in Dota, but there's no like placement.
So I'm a solo queuer, and in my defense, I'm not very good. I know I'm not like a pro, but the rank system in League is so broken. Like, you depend so much on teamwork, and then I know it's prevalent in higher rankings, but in the lower ones, it's way more prevalent. It feels that you get these AFKers and these people that DC that just completely screw up the game for you. Like, okay, cool, now I'm going to spend
So they're jumping into your placement matches that determine which, like,
it's the same function in Dota as, like, ELO hell. Like, like a super low ELO that you're,
I mean, our friend Nick is there a lot.
Yeah.
Well,
poor Nick.
I'm actually, even though I'm whining kind of about it, I'm not a subscriber to the idea of ELO hell. Like, you are where you belong. But even if you are where you belong, you still can't climb up further when you're fighting 4v5 or like 3v5 in some situations.
I think that's the concept that I believe in as well. It's not the actual that, like, because you suck, you're gonna continue to suck. I think that there's a high percentage of the people around you either don't care enough and they're just messing around.
They're just having fun, which is a valid way to play the game.
Yeah, but when you're I think you're trying to improve, which a lot of the, like, that's why I play, is I want to improve.
Get better.
I want to get better. And, like, for example, in 3 of the games that I bought or played, people did not buy a Sightstone, the support, which is, like,
one of the key.
Got to get that vision.
And it's the most efficient item for a support to build because it gives you health, which you need as support to become tanky, and you get free wards every time you go back to base. Yeah. Like, there's no more gold efficient item in the game in terms of, like, hey, this will make you not die. Don't feed. Buy a Sightstone.
Yeah,
and that's me getting angry about it.
No, I get really angry. Like, I get super angry. To the point where my girlfriend's like, you should go outside or something. You should go see the sunlight.
That doesn't make it better.
It doesn't. No.
See, I disagree. I think stepping away from it really does.
The stepping away makes it better. Someone telling you to step away.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, my girlfriend's awesome. She's pretty understanding about it because she knows it's, like, something I'm really into. But it just makes me so damn mad that these people can completely waste your time. Like, I don't have a lot of time to play video games. Like, I still play way more than I should. But if I've only got 3 hours to play and I get 4 or 5 games in it, and 3 of them have AFKers or DCers, like, it completely screws it for me. I think Riot should, like, when someone shows that they've AFK'd or DC'd from a game, the first time they do it, they should be separated into a pool of players that have statistically shown that they AFK or DC. And then they have to go, like, 3 to 5 games not AFKing or DC before they get to play with the rest of the kids.
In Dota, I believe it's 2 disconnects within 30 days, sends you to low priority, where you then have to earn your way back with 3 games.
That just sounds amazing. Maybe I should just start playing Dota because this is, like, it's really getting on my nerves.
You make it sound like the majority of your games are unpleasant.
I think that's just biased because the most memorable of my games will be the unpleasant ones. Like,
good point.
It's true. Like, you remember bad things that happen. It's like a relationship. Like, when it's over, you're like, all you think of is the good stuff. But when you're in it, you're like, I can think of all the bad times I've had. Like, it just makes me super angry because I'm getting older and I don't have a lot of time to play.
Sure.
And then all my time is wasted.
5 stack.
Yeah.
It works a little bit differently in League, where if you're doing a 5 stack in ranked, it's ranked 5 rather than your solo.
Yeah.
It would say same type of thing.
Party MMR.
Yeah. Party MMR and solo MMR.
Yeah. But that's the thing. All my friends are my contemporaries, and not all of them work at places like IGN or, like, have jobs where they have a lot of time to play video games. So getting all 5 of us online at one time to play ranked,
it's really hard.
Really hard.
Do you guys
Mitch?
Go ahead.
No, I wonder about the kind of person that a MOBA attracts. Like, were you guys competitive by nature before you started playing?
Yeah. So
what about you?
No.
Because like you never seem like a competitive person.
I played a little bit of sports in like high school and stuff like
Me
that.
too.
But like I was never the person like I played lacrosse.
Okay.
That's because and that's not for the West Coast. That's weird. Like that's not a big sport, but I just enjoyed it because that's like something I picked up. But I was never competitive. I just like the aspect of like the kinetic aspect of that sport. I was never like,
sure,
I have to win every single game. I'm gonna kill. Like I was like, oh, it's a team sport and my friends are playing, so I'm gonna do it.
So I think you and I might be more on the same page. Like I'm not a super competitive person, but I'm an extremely cooperative person.
Yep.
I want to enable people to do something, which is probably why like I would gravitate more
Support.
toward the support role. Like I
what I
love setting stuff up so that Brian can go in and just wipe everything. It's like, all right, I made that. Like he did it, but I made it happen.
Yeah.
The Ravage.
The ravages, the fissures,
Black hole.
black holes. Like I love that stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, you said you were like super competitive.
Yeah, I'm really competitive, and that's probably why I rage so hard.
I bet I'm more competitive than you.
No, yeah, really? No. It translated from like I used to play a lot of Halo. I did a lot of like competitive Halo 2, and then
That's where it started with me too.
Yeah, I got into I did it before you. I got into World of Warcraft, and then I basically just Battleground. I leveled up playing Battlegrounds, and then I did Arenas, and then Arenas got really unbalanced, and my friend's like, hey, play some League of Legends. And then I got into League of Legends, and then my life went down the black hole. No, it's just, maybe I am too competitive for not being as good as I want to be, but it's hard for me as a competitive person to want to continue to improve and never seeing the improvement because you're like it's too much to carry sometimes.
I think you hit on it perfectly when you talked about like in the moment you're angry because of you're only focusing on the bad things.
Yeah.
Because it's really hard. Like a success is like, okay, we did it, move on, let's just proceed,
Yeah,
let's push,
exactly.
whatever. But like you have 40 seconds when you die to sit there and think about what you did.
Yeah.
And I think that's the kind of like you're in that place where you're like, this is all I can think about is the failure.
Yeah.
And I think that you're right. Like you don't really think about the amount of fun you're having and how happy you are and like the satisfaction you get from cooperating with people and winning, even though you're having a bad time some of the time.
And you know, I texted you something like I think about a week ago where I was losing a game, but I played mechanically the best I had ever played. Like where I was like I could anticipate, and it was one of the things where actions became unconscious in my brain.
Yeah.
But I was pulling them off where you're like, oh, that Jinx is gonna ult, and you flash the ult, and then like I was playing Graves and like cued her right in the face, and then dashed back, and like just life like kited super well and like orb walked perfectly.
And it feels good because like you don't even have time to celebrate your success because you're just like time to move on. Like okay, I got the triple kill icon. I'm like I don't care, just get out of the way. I have
You
stuff
get done
to do.
doing that, and you're like,
That was
I
pretty
did
rad.
it somehow.
That was rad.
And the thing is, some people might be different, but I won't like celebrate that. Other people will be like, Brian, I'll be like,
Thank you.
all right, thanks. Let's go. Like
He's like, it's not good enough.
everybody gets one.
One of them got away.
Yeah. I was supposed to do that. That's not special.
I want to put out there that the worst feeling you can have in Dota is being in the late game. You're a super farmed carry. You get picked off. You don't have buyback, and then they come in and start taking your base.
James
while
did that
your
last
team
night.
can't
I did
hold
that
off.
last night.
Last night,
It's the
James,
worst.
James got his MKB. He's standing behind the tier 3s, and he's like, all right, I got it. And they just blinked on him, and he's like, bye, James.
Axe, which is the Darius of League, blinked and then taunted and then dunked me. And I was like,
It was the saddest. Like, and James didn't say a word.
Who were you playing?
That's the worst.
I
is
was
that
playing
silence.
Drow.
Oh, so you're
Just obliterated.
Yeah, and I had that was just, and that was that was you dragging me into one more game. It was like, it was like 1 a.m. and we're like, we can do one more game, and you'd been on that streak that night. And I was like, all right, we'll play one more game. And
So look,
I still don't regret that game.
We're talking about a horrible, embarrassing loss, and now we're all just kind of like having fun about it, right?
yeah, and that's how I
Like-
see. I think bad games become stories.
You lose 50% of your games. You have to learn to like them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, learn to love losing because like learn stuff. That's the biggest takeaway I've ever had from Dota.
Yeah.
Like, our friend Jay, who
did
used
you
to work
learn?
at IGM, was like, don't worry about it. Like, just learn. Just take in the information, use it for next time, and you'll win. That's it.
I don't mind losing. I just hate. I do mind losing. That's a lie. I do mind losing. I just hate when I lose because like someone either like it was unfair, like a 4v5, or someone just made like super fundamental like game errors. Like I can't think of an example off the top of my head, but it just makes me mad. It's like if you don't have a pretty basic understanding of the game, you shouldn't be playing ranked. Like it's okay to just go and play some team builder or some draft pick or whatever.
Sure.
Some people just have no game sense. You have like 3 cores picked, and you're like, okay, support time, guys, and then it's like Void.
Yeah,
you're like, okay.
Thanks, everyone.
You have a team comp that clearly needs tanks, and someone's like, no, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna build an assassin for top lane. You're just like, what are you doing? Like, what don't you get about the?
That was helpful. I'm glad we talked about this.
Cathartic.
It actually. This felt
Jinx, you owe me soda.
Maybe I'll play some League tonight. I don't know.
Yeah, you will. Let's move on. James, I want you to tell me a little bit about what's going on in LCS, because there is some serious upset happening right now. Kyle, James, walk us through it.
You wanna start? I'm a big Cloud9 fan. Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, we're gonna talk about Cloud9.
The Cloud9 sadness going on right now.
I'm a big Cloud9 fan.
We hinted at it last week, but there was week one.
Of my team.
Week one was very interesting because the two, I think, most dominant teams in the LCS of the last, I think, 2 years have been TSM and C9.
Talk about NALCS or just
NALCS.
Okay.
I follow EU just as well, but I
The
want
Nalks is what we'll call this.
The Nalks. Starring Tism and Snine. Team Solo Mid and Cloud9. In the North American League of Legends Championship Series. FYI. That's what we're talking about.
Yes. I'm gonna pull some stats, but week one for both of them, and they did not drop many games last season. Like
they're like
all.
America's darling, right?
Yes.
Like they're like the North American teams.
And
everyone loves them. USA.
And at IEM, where we all went,
yeah,
were just
TSM was
dominant.
loved.
Yeah, well, as Cloud9 is what I was talking about.
Oh, okay, yeah. No, TSM got
stomped.
rocked.
Yeah, TSM got rocked.
And so that was where like the doubt from TSM came in, where it was just like, oh, what's going on with them? Yeah. And to be fair, they had not practiced all that much.
Super out of their groove. But it happens.
But so week one for them went badly. I think where they went 0-2. They came back, or no, excuse me, they went 1-1, and now TSM is 3-1. So they're coming back. So they just had a rough first week, and they got practiced up and they adjusted their picks. Cloud9 is 1-3, and that's the very interesting thing for me, because Cloud9 was, besides TSM, was the most dominant. They did not drop many games last season.
Was there a roster change?
No.
They have the
most consistent roster of any team. They had.
It's
not
like
had
a couple years, right?
Yeah, pretty much since they have been.
That's an eternity in esports.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah, like I think it's been 3 years, or a little under 3 years, that they've had this same roster.
I think that has a lot to do with their owner and coach. No, he's not their coach, but Jack Etienne, or however you pronounce his name. He's like super into the whole like, we're a family, we play like a family. That's what we're about, and I think that's translates really well into their gameplay. Sorry, did you?
But no, but yeah, and that did. But it's been really interesting because I'm like looking at like their KDA versus like Team KDA and Team Gold per minute like versus other people. It's just off. We watched High play, and he played Sion, I think, in the first week, and he was doing okay, but they were talking about it. I forget which game it was, but what they did is like we let him get so big that he wouldn't die, because Sion's passive, when he dies, he dies, comes back to life, he can do percentage life damage. And like, we just didn't kill him, we just killed everyone around him. So he became...
So they fed him...
No, they didn't fed him, but they just let him become this monster, and they basically killed everyone around him. So if you looked at the team fights, they would just... Like, Sion would be in the middle, like, doing stuff, like, cool, we don't really need to attack you, we're just gonna... Like, we'll let you use your skills, and then we'll just kill everyone else.
Yeah.
And then Meteos, I think, had a pretty bad week one as well, where he was just very ineffective and was engaging weird.
And he's like one of the best junglers in the LCS in general.
Yeah, like I would consider like him a carry jungler, which is
crazy.
Is rare. Like jungle, I think, controls the flow of the map, but they don't really carry. Mm-hmm. Last year he did crazily well, but it's just one of those things where we've had time off, and they played some off-season games, and then they came back, and their CLG is like dominating right now.
Were there some roster rearrangements that put like maybe some star players together on other teams?
A little bit. There's the Santorin on actually TSM has been incredible.
What about teams that C9's played? Like, of the teams they played, were any of them like, oh, they got these two really great guys?
Their first game was a pretty big game.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I don't remember who it is. It all blurs together.
I'm looking at the stats right now.
Cloud9 comprises like over 50% of my fantasy team.
Oh,
So
nice.
I love that you used comprises correctly.
Thank you.
People don't do that.
I appreciate it.
Nice.
I appreciate you, Brian. Thank you for that. Can we clip that out just for a little moment?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they played solo mid for the first game, and then they played.
Yeah, that was a big game. TSM versus C9.
Then they played Gravity, the other one, and Gravity is made up of like some former LCS players and some new people. So they've been playing like pretty good teams, but like they haven't. Like, I just wouldn't expect them to fall this hard.
I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's happening.
I'm not gonna give any extra. I'm just like, this is me being really interested in this team and where they're going.
I mean, it's only
They're
4
Bay
games
Area
into the
based.
season.
That's what I'm thinking.
really?
Is like this is a pretty small sampling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they could win the next 15 games in a row, and it's like,
And
wow, they have
that's-
3 losses on their record.
Yeah, that's within their realm. Like they could do that. Like they're that type of team. It's just. I think I know I'm a fantasy 9. Like as fans, we're just like concerned. Like what the heck's happening?
Sure.
Like, you guys are really good. What's happening? I don't know. They're easily my favorite.
Does this mean that
American
like somebody is dominating the season so far who shouldn't be?
Not really. Like they
team. It's
actually
been pretty even.
Yeah, the standings right now are CLG, then Gravity, then TSM, then Team 8. Who by the way, I just love that name, Team 8.
Team
Yeah.
8.
Yeah,
As like
teammate.
teammate.
Yeah,
It's really good.
It's really.
I
really
see what
good
they
name.
did there. What's CLG's record?
3-1, but they have a better like stats overall.
Okay,
so that's
cool.
what puts them.
So they're tied with
They're tied for
TSM?
first, but they're like in position wise, they're at the top of.
Okay. CLG their coach is Skara, right?
Yes, but because of some like, when they acquired him,
Yeah.
he was still part of
This
Digital.
was the poaching.
Yeah, the coaching
scandal.
thing. So he has not been. He's been coaching them, but he has not been on stage helping them with drafts and everything.
Yeah.
Well, he should be in week 4.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, the addition of coaches being on stage, I think, is pretty impactful.
Because not everyone has a coach, right?
No,
Well-
everyone does.
Okay.
But it's like whether your coach is experienced, because like I forget. Sorry, I'm blanking.
Which
but,
team?
There's like several coaches that have experienced coaches that have coached before in like different leagues.
Yes.
And that makes a big difference, like actually knowing what you're doing on stage, being a coach. Because like being an informed player and then thinking of like how you're going to play when you're in a competitive environment and how you're going to coach in a competitive environment is different than just knowing the game really well. I would think. I'm not a coach, but having having coaches that are already good at the job and have already done it and are experienced in doing it is probably making a huge difference.
Anyway, I just thought that was interesting. I'm really interested. Like I've been watching every week about just to see what's going on. They give good updates. Primetime League. I don't know if we ever talked about it.
I don't think so.
It's Riot's new show, which I consider it's the sports center for League.
Oh yeah. You and I have talked about it, but we haven't talked about it on the show at all.
Yeah. If you're really interested in like week by week breakdowns of like stats and then giving context behind it, they're the experts.
Does that have a set time? Like every Friday at 2?
It is today, Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Yeah. And it airs I think like 3 to 5 or something.
Pacific?
Yeah. And then the VOD goes up onto their YouTube.
Cool.
Later that day.
Yeah, we're going to be trying to follow a lot more LCS this year. Last year we tinkered with the fantasy draft, but I mean, now that we have Kyle, we can talk a lot more about League of Legends and the LCS.
Got super invested in it because of the fantasy, and then after Cloud9 started like
after your fantasy tanked.
Yeah, I was like, oh man, and I got super depressed and then burned out on League.
No one picked up Yellow Star in our league, which I was very surprised.
I was surprised. I wanted to. I thought someone picked him up and then dropped him.
I picked him up.
Didn't you just random all of yours?
I did.
And it's like an amazing.
It was
draft.
like there was a bunch of really good players, and then there were a bunch of players that people didn't pick up that I like, so I swapped out some people.
I just picked
Nice.
all my favorites.
Yeah.
I just said it's like
Good man.
Cloud9 and Unicorns of Love, pretty much. Those are my.
Unicorns of Love.
They're
Yeah.
so good.
They're really
They're
good.
great.
Power of Evil is really fun to watch. Same with Chachi. He's really, really fun to watch. Power of Evil just smashed at IEM San Jose, and he's been smashing in the LCS, so it's fun to watch.
Before we get out of here, James, I want you to tell me about what is literally the best League of Legends skin I have ever seen in my life.
I want to curse so loudly in excitement because the new Ultimate skin for Sona is.
It's so good. Like, I like Sona as a support. Like, she's a really cool support, just running around with a little keyboard. She's making, like, beep and boops and sending out the healing music. So I'm like, all right, this is cute and cool. Whatever. What is like this new skin is the most expensive production values I've ever seen in a character.
So
They've probably already made their
we
money
should say
back.
what it is.
I bet.
It's DJ Sona.
Yeah.
DJ Sona is not one skin; it is 3 skins, and it's actually kind of similar to what Udyr had.
Yeah, Udyr's stance change.
Yeah, but the way that it works is that you start out the game and you're on this you have I would call them DJ platforms instead of like a piano or like
it's got like a turntable
just a DJ booth,
and
basically.
a DJ booth.
Yeah.
And she's floating and doing her thing, and then it's playing music.
Yeah, you can pick the style you want. So there's like 3 styles. I think it's kinetic, concussive, and ethereal.
And each of those has each individual song.
In-game
None of this affects gameplay, though, right?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Except for each song changes the look of the DJ platform.
Yep.
And
Using your skills,
it doesn't really like remix the music, but it like adds
it adds to it. It's
it
like
add-
another
Like
layer.
flourish, like a flourish over what you're doing.
Yes.
So you use your ult, and then the beat will drop as you're playing.
Yeah.
It's so good.
And so
How many wubs?
it's just wubbing super
Kinetic
hard.
has is like the wubby
Is
track.
the dubstep one.
But like there are actually like 6 producers. Like they went out and to actual
Bass
DJ.
Nectar.
Bass Nectar. But the 3 big ones are Bass Nectar, Pretty Lights, and the Crystal Method.
Yeah.
Like.
And the
huge-
ethereal track is like so obviously a Pretty Lights thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's him and another guy.
Yeah.
I don't remember the exact.
I think
name.
it's a bunch of letters like NYGA. Or,
Yeah, but the tracks are incredible. They put them out for free, and then the craziest thing is next to Sona's like icon, if you're on her team, you can press a button and you can hear the music.
You just jam.
Yeah.
And it's totally optional. You don't have to. But if you want to jam out with Sona, it's like like, you can just like listen to these
And I do.
dope tracks.
They're so good too. Like it's not
They're not
garbage music. Like
yeah.
it's great.
They're
not.
on my playlist.
It's not half-assed at all.
Man, it's just I don't know how they're gonna top it.
How much is that skin?
$30.
$30.
So it's an Arcana.
It's an ultimate skin. Yeah.
Man, like I love Sona. I love that skin. But $30.
I play support. I don't play Sona much. I own her. I'm probably gonna buy that.
She's one of the first supports I
Alright.
played, and she's really fun.
She's great. Yeah, you were running around. You're like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm
she's
making
all-
music and people are alive,
Yep.
so that's good.
She's so classy looking. Now she's just like nasty.
Oh man, just like the way the flourishes work with the music and like how she looks. Like she literally like raises her hand and then like drops the beat.
Yep.
It's just so good. It's amazing.
So you're just getting wrecked, but you're like, this is okay.
I look cool doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all right.
No, if you're on the receiving end.
Yeah, that's true. That's all right.
Yeah, it is. It is one of the coolest things I think they've ever done in terms of like in-game, like
It's the best ultimate skin in
Yeah.
my opinion.
It's the best skin I have personally ever seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like Udyr, but this is my top. Like Miranda's not here, but we were all talking about it, and like, even if I don't play Sona, I'd like, if I random Sona in our ARAM, I want this skin. Like,
Yeah.
I want it. I've never had this like want for a skin, but this is a yep.
Yeah, Riot's just turned on their money vacuum. They're like, all right, let's just go ahead and
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, that's
Valve's
crazy.
been pretty good about that lately too. Like the Arcanas they've been dishing out are awesome.
I'm okay. I'll pay the extra money for awesome stuff like this.
If a skin just looks great, that's enough for me.
yeah,
But, like,
Dunkmaster Darius, day one, I was like, got it. This
Of
is mine.
course.
Oh, nothing fits you better than
Then
Dunkmaster
Dunkmaster
Darius.
Darius.
That game we had, I was wrecking the one time we
You were
all-
doing so well.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But I've started now, collecting for my favorite characters, trying to get all of their skins. So I have all of Xerath's skins. I have most of
Goodbye,
Darius.
money.
Yeah, I have all of Thresh's skins. I have.
Oh man.
Yeah, when I was playing, I was trying to figure out whatever champ I was. I was like, oh, what's my E do? And you would just like run out of the jungle and dunk the guy. And I'm like, all right, okay.
That was so much fun, man. And then I didn't even build him tanky because I was just so far ahead. I
You're just like
went
damage.
just all damage. Like I even got an infinity edge, which you don't really get on Darius, but it's so much fun.
You're lost in thought right now, dude.
No, I was just looking at the other producers. It's
okay.
It's Bass Nectar and Ren Holder on Concussive. I don't know how to say it. Noa.
Nosa.
Nosa.
Nosa and Pretty Lights.
Nosa's thing and Pretty
Nosa's
Lights.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Crystal Method and Data Life.
Oh, Dada Life. That's actually a pretty big name too.
I don't know it.
Dota Life?
Dota
Dada
Life.
Dada.
Dota Life.
But yeah, like, and Crystal Method is that's actually not something completely new. They've been talking about doing a collaboration with them for a while because they
Yeah.
played the season 2 World Finals.
Yes.
When it was in LA.
I mean, Riot and music seems to be such a good mashup because they did the whole Imagine Dragons thing with the Warriors song.
Yep.
Like this is so Riot's producing music, and so I'm going to say it again. They need to get into making a TV show, and they should also do graphic novels. I'm just going to throw that out there as well. So
I mean, a TV show is just like money.
Yeah,
easy.
Just where do you want your money truck?
The thing is, like, Riot is not, and we're like way over time right now, but we should probably wrap up. But like, Riot is not the kind of company that does stuff anymore to make money. They're not like, how do we just make money? Like,
no, yeah, they do.
Okay, we're gonna make an expensive thing, but you're gonna be like, that's worth $30.
Yeah, easy. Yeah,
they're not gonna just do like, oh, well, we could make money on a TV show. They're gonna do like, how do we make it look good? How do we make people care? Just do it.
I just want them to do it. I would totally follow that.
You know what they'll do? How they'll tie it back is that they'll do like an animated series, and then they'll debut a new skin. Oh, this sounds really cheesy. This is like a really bad business plan. So don't take this idea.
Darius shows up, and you're like, what is that?
What is he wearing? I need it.
And then at the end of it, like, oh, you can buy this skin now, and you're like, oh, no way.
And he looks at the camera. He's like, it's only $30.
And my money would fly out of my pocket at
You're
the
just
screen.
like trying to hold it in the wallet.
Just take my money, please.
That's a little too obvious, and but something like that where it's just like, again, it's always ancillary to what the actual like product is.
It's hot in here.
We should go. It's lunchtime. Thank you so much for watching, listening, however you consume this podcast. We are on iTunes. Give us reviews. Give us lots of stars and lovely words. Tell us how wonderful we are, because we are very egotistical. You can subscribe to us on YouTube at youtube.com/ign-arena, and you can follow all of us on Twitter. Brian is at Albino Albert.
There we go.
Why do I mess it up every time?
Albino Albert.
Albino Albert. I am at Mitchie. James is at James_Faulkner.
Yes.
Kyle is at Kyle. You can now follow us all on Twitter with ign_arena on Twitter. That's our...
Please follow it.
Our new thing. You can find... If you miss an episode or you want to just watch a specific breakout video, you can follow the IGN Arena Twitter. We'll be sending all the links out for that.
Brian's doing dance.
You have something.
HOTS giveaway. Let's just
we have the HOTS giveaway.
Yep.
We're going to give away Heroes of the Storm beta codes. Email us. Heroes of the Storm beta is your subject line. Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Let us know which Blizzard character you want to see and what their skills might look like, and we'll give you a chance to win some access into the Heroes of the Storm beta.
Correct.
Is that it?
I think we did it.
We're going to try to do an episode next week. We'll see.
I really think we should do
I think it's a good idea.
Like IGN Arena Underground. And just
pretty good. Record it all on the phone.
Yeah.
Probably a shorter episode.
Yep. Can we just do it after, like, late in the night? Maybe we've had a couple drinks.
After we played some Smite.
Yeah.
Not a terrible plan.
Can we get Marty on? Because we've been wanting to do...
Marty is hilarious.
Marty, it's like Guess the Dota guy? Or
I still want to do that video.
Yeah.
Can we... So this is what we should do. All 5 of us should stream and have Marty cast it.
Have you seen the video where Marty casts the International?
Hilarious.
It's great.
It is amazing. Yeah, we should have him cast it.
Cool. All right. Thank you for joining us. We will see you hopefully next week, if not the week after. Good luck. Have fun out there.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.